All right, we're going to call the meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. If everybody could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We do need to amend the agenda to add item 15C, employee contract discussion. Otherwise, there's no other changes that I can think of unless anybody else can. So we just need a motion to approve the agenda with the amendment.
A motion to approve the agenda with the amendment 15C, employee
Contract discussion.
contract discussion.
Thank you. Need a second, please.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Or opposed, sorry, I forgot opposed. I heard everybody say yes. All right, and then I need a motion to approve meeting minutes of Monday, July 14th, 2025.
I'll make the motion to approve meeting minutes of Monday, July, what's the date on that?
14.
14th.
2025.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll now have time for public input, limited to 3 minutes, and please state your name, full name for the meeting minutes, please. I do have one thing to start with. On behalf of the city of Alcester, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you who stepped up to help with the cleanup efforts following this last week's storms. Your willingness to lend a hand, cleaning debris, checking on neighbors, assisting and donating food for the community supper, and restoring our community spaces show the true spirit of Alcester. In times of challenge, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, but your dedication and generosity reminded us all of the strength and kindness that define our town. We are truly grateful for your time, your hard work, and your heart. Alcester is stronger and a more united place because of you. And I do have some people I want to call out individually from that. Christy Berg, Rockstar. Brian Van Houten, Derek Lundberg, Adam Fickbaum, Emmett Manning, Jacob Vanderfeen, Carter Rodriguez, Sean Bierstead, John Jensen, Rick and Laura Walleen, Morgan McGinnis and friend, Bill Foyt, John and Glenda Dunlap, Tim Manning, Mike Burke, Public Works Department, Clubhouse employees, Dave and myself, and the Union County Highway Department, and everyone else that helped in our city park. So we appreciate everybody, and hopefully we don't have to go through that again in a long time. Right, Lonnie? Does anybody else have any public input tonight? All right, hearing none, we will move on to item number 6. Any legal updates, Sam?
Yeah, got a couple. Dave, please chime in if I forget off the top of my head to mention one that we've discussed. There's a property that we were gonna go to court on tomorrow here in town that has a garage that's been in violation of city ordinance and state statute as a nuisance for some time. Got a chance to talk to the property owner today. That property owner is going to stipulate to essentially the facts contained in the complaint and agree to stipulate to an order that will allow us to remove that structure, demolish it, to bring it into compliance, and then, as typically happens with these things, those costs for doing so to the city will be assessed against the property and property tax levy and recouped. Just for those of you that are new or returning, haven't been here a while, kind of the preference in my view always is, well, we can sometimes go abate nuisances, like if I live here in town and my grass is 3 feet high, send somebody to mow it, don't ask. But if we're dealing with structures and property or cars, things like that, get a court order, so we should have that tomorrow. We have another issue. There's a trailer that's been a problem for some time. I've not been able to find the trailer owner. That individual was in jail and is out again, so we continue to try to locate her, to offer her. Dave and I have been working on a way we think to just agree to haul the trailer off at city expense rather than keeping it there. Have not heard from her. The trailer park owner has also been unresponsive to my attempts to communicate with him, but we continue to work on that. Dave, what else did we have that you and I discussed?
We got that other home on Broad Street that I discussed with you. The utilities have been shut off for a number of
Yes.
months for non-payment.
So we've researched the issue on that home, and it's a gray area in the law whether or not we can do anything with it. It's fairly clear in our property maintenance code that the home is unfit for occupancy if it doesn't have a water supply, but exactly how you ensure that no one is occupying it is kind of a gray area we're working on. So it's just important to note with that one that we are not taking anyone's property, we're not condemning it, but much like if you build a new home, you don't get a certificate of occupancy until there's electricity, running water, et cetera. And so determining what, if anything, can be done on that, but that was, I believe over a month ago, we had again notified that property owner that he needed to come into compliance with ordinance, and he had failed to do so. And then the playground, did you want me to mention that one as well, the playground contract?
Yeah, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, the playground contract, the scope of work, all those things looked good. We still need to see their actual written contract agreement that talks about the specific terms, just so that we make sure that there's not liability that would be on the city's hands in certain events, so we'll review that. The example I'll give you, which you see in engineering contracts sometimes, is they will say that the limit of our liability is the limit of our fee. You don't want to be in a situation where you pay a $200,000 engineering fee, but they cause you $1 million problem, because then you're walking around trying to find 800 grand. So I think that should be good. We'll be set on that, and then hope to have that approved here in the next couple weeks. I think that's all I have, Dave, unless I'm
I
missing.
think that's it for now,
Any questions from anybody? Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Was there anything from Sheriff Proudy tonight? Is he here? There he is. I didn't see you. I can't
I'm
see
here.
you behind the podium.
Here, I really don't have anything. No, I really don't have anything other than the cleanup after the storm. I've heard a lot of good things, and the community really came together, so that was good to see. So,
It was nice to see all you guys out there along with the county helping and just everybody helping.
yep, that's what we do. That's coming together. So, and then school opening with the 14th here. So, obviously you'll see us in the mornings after school patrolling the school zones and the walking paths to school, and Highway 11 here going through town. So we got the speed sign up. If anybody has any other locations you'd like to see that, let us know and we can move that. It's mobile. We can move it for a day, a week, 2 hours, whatever we need to do, so we can be flexible on that thing. So otherwise, if anybody has anything for me, if not, I'll sit back and listen.
You want to do like a night out, a community night out?
Yeah.
How long does that take you guys to get that coordinated?
We don't know. This will be the first one here, so.
Well,
So ideally, we just come up with some plans, and it was brought up to maybe do it on a Tuesday, correct?
Yeah, we're working on a date. It'll be sometime after school starts.
Yeah, so nothing official, but just kind of, just start building on this.
what we've got coming up is like a fun night for kids with hot dogs, and we're planning on the Tuesday, well, it'll be next Tuesday. And it'll be like a pool party and hot dogs, and they've got the farmer's market, and wondering if maybe that would be a time available for you that, you know, because we'd have like a bigger crowd
Yeah,
available.
that'll be pretty quick.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering, if it'd be too quick.
I think in order to plan all the things, all of the events and whatnot accordingly, I think a week is too short of a notice, actually.
Yep.
'Cause
The
we-
timelines,
We had talked about, Sheriff and I had talked about getting the fire department ambulance involved. And it's too short a notice for them to get volunteers with everything they've got going on at the end of the summer. And
I think after school starts might help also, you know, like
So
get the
we-
word out at school and all that kind of thing too.
And I'm definitely willing to come up. There's some activities next Tuesday that we can be here for and participate in.
Sure.
For sure, I'll do that.
Yep, we're trying to work,
That never hurts.
Yeah,
we're trying to work around the storm schedule that's appearing this week. Because we were gonna do it on Sunday, but now Sunday has like chances of rain and it's cold and it's great. It's fun. I love planning things. Why, I mean, it's fine. We're not traumatized. It's fine.
what time does that all start on Tuesday?
Be 5 o'clock when the pool closes for the lunch, for the dinner break.
Okay.
So
And
they
the pool's
close,
gonna be open that evening?
and then the pool reopens at 7, yeah.
Okay.
So the weather does look on, it's either Friday or Tuesday was our days, and I think we're gonna give it a week so we can, because yeah, that was the situation is like, Friday would be a good one, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday is only chance of rain in the morning, so, or yeah, Monday's a chance of rain, yeah, morning and night, and then, so yeah, Tuesdays, it's just like, why? Like, can't have any fun.
Never know. All right, well, yeah.
Keep you posted.
Yeah.
You guys have a plan for
Kristen's
Tuesday
kind
then?
of-
Yep, we will, yeah, we're working on it, so yeah.
We'll
Okay.
let you know.
Let me know and then we'll get some resources up here and
Even if you just wanna come for some hot dogs.
yes.
Or
Be a
send somebody-
prequel to
dinner.
our other.
Dinner
event.
is here, if you'd like to come up for dinner, you can take your dinner break here.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item number 7, ordinance 2025-10, amended flood damage prevention. Do you want to kind of give us a synopsis on this, Dave?
Yep, so this is an amended, there was a couple of items in there that FEMA came back after we passed the original version last year, that they wanted amended to make it more uniform. Basically what it was making the level of flood where they needed to be at for the flooring for mobile homes, the same as what all other residential properties were. So there was just a couple of sentences in there that FEMA requested to be changed. Those changes were made, and this is the amended version of all 20-some pages.
Nothing changed since last month.
No, same as last month.
So we would need a motion for the approval of the second reading.
I move to approve the ordinance 2025-10 flood damage prevention ordinance, to approve it. Second reading.
Approve the second reading, thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Alright, and then number 8, resolution 2025-11, special maintenance fee for the maintenance of street surfaces.
So this is our annual resolution for the $1 per foot of curb that's on yours, for each property owner. That we pass this resolution before the budget every year for the special maintenance fee that we use. That funds for repairs and maintenance of the streets. If you'd like, I can read through the whole thing.
Did everybody have a chance to read through it in the packet? Any questions, comments?
I'll make a motion to pass resolution 2025-11, special maintenance fee for the maintenance of street services.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, moving right along. Number 9, Planning and Zoning Commission. We will adjourn as council at 6:16 PM and reconvene as the Planning and Zoning Commission.
I'll make a motion to adjourn as council and reconvene as planning and zoning commission at 6:16.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We are now the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Cool.
First up is the review of the FCS flats.
So there's a big copy spread out amongst each of you. There's just a overhead screenshot from Beacon. I had reached out to Sam on this. He reviewed it, didn't have any issues or questions. FCS has purchased a small chunk. If you look at the sheet in your packet, the area highlighted in blue, they've purchased that little sliver of property. And we just need the council to approve the plats as presented in your packet, and then we'll sign the big copies and get those to the county. If there's any questions.
Does anybody have any questions? I mean, it makes sense to me to have that change be made. All right.
Yeah.
Item C, conditional use permit.
I need you to recommend.
Oh, sorry. Can I get a recommendation for item B? Just a recommendation. We
I have
don't
a
need a
question before
motion.
you recommend it. Who
Yeah,
owns the lot 2? Well, it's like cut in like 2.
This-
Okay.
What's your questions?
Does it,
Who owns the
Lot
second
two.
half of that?
A little sliver that's in between.
lot 2 of South Addition.
I don't know.
It's not the fair board.
Not to my knowledge, no. That's west of the fairgrounds.
That was my only question.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion or I'll make the recommendation to approve of the FCS plat as presented.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Recommendation carried. All right, now item C, for the conditional use permit.
So this is the same information that was presented to you at the last meeting. Kevin is here if you have any questions. You had chosen to table for you guys to make some take some on-site looks and ponder your recommendations. I'll turn it over to Kevin if you have any questions for him.
Everybody have a chance to take a look at it in the meantime?
I have just one concern. It seems like it's awful close to the road to have it set back. You know, I know you want it to keep it even with that existing building, but any way it can be moved back, 10 foot. Because if you have people coming in and out of there,
What was the setback on that, Dave? I don't know.
6 foot.
8 to 10, 6 feet, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
6
6
feet on that side.
It's not that anybody with a truck, I know I've seen, a truck with a hitch on it, parked on your, right by your garage doors.
It's
And
the,
that, with the hitch sticking out, I mean, that's right there on the roadway.
it's the part of that part where it's 2 feet, not the 6 feet, it's the 2 feet.
Yeah, but I mean, even at that point where it's, with the existing building, that's real close to the road if you got anybody, driving along there.
Or is it possible to put the doors on the side of the buildings, interfering with traffic coming down the street?
The doors could go on the other side, but that would, the future plan would be add more to the north side and have doors facing that, so that wouldn't be beneficial at this point, to
Right.
switch to that side.
I was thinking, yeah.
And obviously, the closer I get to the road, the more I can maximize space on the north side later for additional units. I understand your concern with that 2 feet. I guess I would like to leave it where it's at. That's for you guys to decide.
Is there any other reason than aesthetics that it can't sit parallel 6 feet completely across?
And
No,
the storage units are 30-foot deep.
correct.
Can that be made 24-foot deep? I mean, if you're gonna be adding more storage units, you know.
Right,
take
it could, ideally with that 30 foot is, it's that depth for, that will house most typical
Yeah.
today's boats. Are, you know, like 21, 22 feet plus a motor and a tongue, you need 30 feet to get them in comfortable.
Would it, like Kendra said, would it be feasible to just have the 6 feet all the way?
Right, just turn it at an angle.
Yeah, which,
And maybe I'm overthinking it, like, sure, probably, I don't know if you know where we're talking about, where Gun Shop is on the corner there. To the east, they're adding a building there, but there's that apartment driveway right there. So at that apartment driveway, just a few feet in is his property line, and it sets it 2 feet back from the road. And I just don't know with anybody pulling out or pulling into that, if that creates any traffic hazards for cars pulling out with a building that close, not having any sight.
People backing trailers in and out,
Yeah.
kind of blocking up the street, kind of a thing too.
And how many people are gonna have the boat with the motor on the hitch? I mean, designate the one end basically for the bigger items and have a smaller unit, you know, if you're gonna make it, you know, so it's 6 foot straight down.
It would still be 30 feet the whole way, the building just wouldn't sit parallel with
Yeah.
his other, or like in
But I
line
mean-
with his other building, it would just be Hawkeye, like 4 feet.
Yeah, or even, you know, make, you know, some of the end units smaller, you know, to compensate for, you know, another 4 foot.
So what, so, you know, we're looking at a 2 foot setback from the lot pin. And currently that lot pin is 16 feet from the center of the road. I guess I haven't measured that, or no, the edge of the road.
It's from the,
Well, that's,
So when people are pulling out of those apartments right there, they're gonna be facing this way and somebody's gonna be backing their thing in, and they're gonna try to go around them, they're gonna be facilitated, and that person could potentially be turning into head-on traffic to get around people accessing the storage units. So giving them as much clearance as possible from, I'm a postal worker, so like when I pull up somewhere, I like as much clearance to see the road as I can. So that was my thing when we drove it, and I pulled up to the mailboxes and then I pulled away to see like how that clearance would be. So that's my only concern, because people do, me driving 130 miles a day, I see people make very stupid decisions when there's something on their side of the road that they want to turn on. They're like, oh, I'm still gonna go, I'm just gonna go around this trailer that's backing up. And then they're gonna have head-on traffic right there, and nobody has anywhere to, like, you know, they do have places to go, taking the ditch is always the best option, but in their minds, they have nowhere to go but hitting each other. So that's the only thing, is making sure that people have enough clearance, because the variance was there for, you know, we have the clearance for the site for a reason. So if it's just for aesthetics, I don't think that anybody would notice, but you, I know it'd probably tick you off every day, but I don't think anybody would, if you set it and had it straight on the road, the other building, they'd probably notice the other building's crooked then.
Right.
But that's about, and, you know, put some hedges in. It would hide that.
No.
But I
and
think-
don't know, I'd have to keep people from driving through our property coming to the park before we have to worry about that corner being an issue, because no one even uses it. Or 6 out of 8 people live there,
Yeah.
drive to our lot every single time. to go
Yeah.
to Highway 11, they don't go around.
Well, yeah, and then that's what they should be, not driving through your lot. And that is another problem that you can bring up, because yes, there is reasons for that. That's somebody's personal property. They should not be driving through your lot. And that is rude and inconsiderate.
I
So,
would make light of it,
but yeah, they should, so yeah, like hypothetically, that's even a more dangerous situation with all the stuff you have going on in your lot. But yeah, I would say that it would just be for the safety of everybody, even the people backing in their trailers, to not,
Currently, the way that lot line is, the southwest corner of the existing building is 6'8".
yep.
Would we be fine with that same dimension on the southwest corner of the new building? Because essentially I'd not be any closer to the right of way than the existing building anyhow, so I would be moving it back another 4'8". And then I can still keep it square with the world. Because what's gonna happen is I add on to it, if we add on to this the north side later, now that's also turned at a, let's say 10 degrees, it's gonna end up not flowing very well, essentially.
So you're
I don't know.
asking to keep the
Yeah,
southwest
and
corner?
also, if I ever wanted to attach the building, you know, down the road, now if I got a building that's sitting at 10 degrees, and it can complicate things a lot further down the road. I don't know what the future holds, but I would rather, I mean, the 6'8" is already outside of the, you know, the traditional setbacks, that doesn't even meet the setbacks. But if we're saying that I mean, that's grandfathered in, could I move the new building back that same dimension, 6'8" on that southwest corner? And keep it square with the other?
Keep it square with the other building from 6'8" to 6'8", like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I would.
so we'd be moving it
That
back
would
another
be-
4'8" from the proposed drawing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that would be the most,
That's what I was
the
gonna
best
say.
decision,
Go from
honestly.
Yeah.
6 foot to 10 foot or whatever that would be to bring it back about 4 foot like you're talking. And, that'd bring it back a bit further there too.
yeah.
So, and I don't, that 6'8" is really, really close, but before I would proceed with anything, I would
Come on in and
pull
show.
that line,
Yeah.
measure back to that corner, see exactly what that is, and make sure the new corner
Yeah, if you wanted to
mirrors
line,
that distance.
if you wanted to line it up that way with the other building, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That sounds reasonable.
Someone want to make a recommendation?
So first you'll need to recommend to approve the conditional use permit for the building for storage, and then the variance.
I'll make a recommendation to approve the conditional use permit.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then we need another one for updating the,
Approving the variance request.
yeah, the variance request. Which is here.
I'll recommend to approve the variance request.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now we need to adjourn as the Planning and Zoning Commission and reconvene as council.
Make a motion to adjourn as the Planning and Zoning Commission and reconvene as council at 6:29.
Second.
Go ahead.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We are now back as council. All right, so first up is a motion to approve the FCS plats as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the FCS plat as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And item G, we'll need a motion to approve or deny, or to approve the conditional use permit request.
I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use permit request.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then item H, a motion to approve the variance request.
Move to approve the variance request.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, number 10, Banner Associates Monthly Engineering Report. Paul, we'll put you on the podium.
This fall, hopefully.
Try to keep the spiel as short as I can for everybody here. Got a few items to go through. One thing that got handed out, you see the little binder that's kind of between every bite. basically what we kind of put together is, we've kind of in the last few years been doing a lot of work with you guys here. We just kind of wanted to let you guys know some of the other services that Banner offers, so that way when something does come up, by all means, we're kind of trying to be the one-stop shop for you guys for, any particular issues that you might have. I know you guys kind of think of us, the civil engineering side, but there's also a lot of other things that go with it. Kind of the part you can kind of skip to is kind of the very end where you kind of see this little rocket ship picture here. I'll just quick kind of go through that. And kind of just to let you know kind of what's along there. With anything like right now, I'm kind of helping you guys with the 4th Street water main projects. You kind of think of it street reconstruction, water tower recoding. Tanya's been helping you out with the wastewater facilities and all that. But we also kind of want to talk a little bit about some of the other things, that we can provide you guys, or, just to let you know that we have the capabilities to help you out on this. So I just kind of wanted to go through it real quick, just kind of let you know, here's some of the other things that are available. If something does come up, so by all means, if that does happen, you can have somebody give me a call and we talk about it. Some of the biggest things is obviously the asset management, the public communication, those kinds of things. We're just the big one that's kind of big for a lot of communities now is GIS, where it's now getting all your infrastructure, all that stuff basically computerized. And if you ever go like on the City of Sioux Falls website, they have all their water main, sewer main, storm sewer, all on the website. Just for inventory purposes, I don't know how well you guys got affected by the lead-based water lines. Was that a big thing, Dave, for you guys? Did you have a lot in time? Yeah. Did you have a lot to try to go through on it? So something just to categorize all those things. Like obviously when we're doing 4th Street, go through there. We'll be looking at what everybody's got water lines. If we do see something, we obviously put down the plans. But the nice part is now you get to put that, digitize it all, have it at your fingertips for anybody. The public can go to it, click on it, see where their sewer services, all that stuff too. And just kind of helps out where things get buried over the years, stuff like that. You would just know where that stuff is. So we do actually have specialized guys that can do a lot of those things too. The other one too is then obviously the planning part. So you guys went through the facility plan process for water and sewer. Trying to get one here for the drainage as well. It's basically look at that 20-year period from now. Here's your current infrastructure, here's where it can be, so that it helps you guys grow and basically try to minimize the issues you guys got going in the future. That's what that capital improvement plan, that's essentially the facility plan. They call it a whole bunch of different other things. It's however you want to cut it, it's the same thing. Kind of moving along to another big thing that a lot of people don't know about Banner is we do also have an architect here too. So if you guys do have some buildings or things you need to maybe have somebody that's on architect based take a look at, obviously we can help out doing structures, and that's also then goes into as well our structural department. So they're helping you out with your water tower with coatings and everything. But we also do have a full structural department that can help the architect basically help get the buildings and all those plans put together as well too. So just keep that in mind. Also, if you do have a building that comes up and you want it reviewed, for instance, for ADA or for some verification of some things, for structural stuff, by all means, we have the capability to take a look at it and give you guys an opinion of it's up to snuff with the current code and all that. You'll be looking here for that CIPP, the Cured in Place sanitary sewer project that you guys are planning on doing. We'll talk about that a little bit later. That's more of a kind of a niche thing that we specialize into. So just keep that in mind too. Obviously, when you don't want to do a full street reconstruction, there's some alternatives that we specialize in for all that. The other big thing too, drone technology. So obviously, when we got street reconstruction projects, or you just want some nice imagery or something like that, we have certified pilots that can go around and drone areas. The proposed development over there north of the football field, we used all that for the survey as well. So we didn't have to have a guy that sits days and just sitting there with a pole trying to get information. We can do a drone and get it done in a couple of days. So that makes those big areas really easy, and it gets a lot of information. Not only do we get imagery, we also get all the topography of the land and all that stuff to a really high degree. So it really does cut down a lot of time. You have just a lot of information, which is nice. Where when you look back at the imagery, oh yeah, I forgot to get this thing, but I can see on the picture. You can go back in your information, click on it in your software, and you got a spot for it. So it kind of minimizes how much time we have to have people coming back and forth to do all that. Floodplain management, as you just kind of mentioned here, you just updated some of your floodplain ordinances. This is the one thing I'm going through with the city of Parker, and the one thing that kind of actually happens with a lot of communities is you have a floodplain, but and you have ordinances, but not necessarily been keeping up with what the ordinances require with, proper permitting and making sure that people can actually, look at it and make sure that things are up to snuff when, things are proposed to be built. So that's something I specialize in, and a few others at the office as well can help out with. Thankfully, you guys have minimal amount of floodplain that's over there by the railroad, but just keep that in mind here when any development's going on over in that area. GIS kind of mentioned already. Infrastructure-wise, just like the 4th Street water main project, water, sewer, streets, storm sewer specialize in all the reconstruction and all that stuff too. But keep in mind there's other things like lift stations, water treatment, sewer treatment, all those things we can help out with. And the big one that always kind of comes up too, and that we'll probably talk a bit later here down the road with that 4th Street project, is the strategic communication, is basically getting ways to get the information out from what happens in these walls out to the public and making sure that, everybody in the public kind of knows what's going on. So, putting on presentations, getting, emails out, letters out, those kinds of things, just basically making sure that, everybody at the end of the day, has information out there to know what's all going on. Because that always seems to be the big one, is when you do any reconstruction project, public comes in, well, I wasn't aware of this, or XYZ, getting that stuff out there and just being able to have a contact number at the end of the day, that really helps out communities too. So we do specialize in a lot of that too. Let's see, I mentioned structural engineering as well. That goes hand in hand. Surveying with the drone technology and everything, but also surveying wise, if you guys are looking at replatting something like that in town or something like that, we can definitely help out with redoing plats, redoing property lines, things like that. Let's see. Oh, and then one thing we also do have that's kind of special to Banner is we do have an environmental crew. The one thing that always kind of keeps on changing is all the different regulations that go with environmental considerations. Big one usually comes up with wetlands, things like that, and now the state is going to go off on their own, just to let you guys know, compared to what the federal side is going to do. So there's just even more regulations to kind of keep in mind, but at the end of the day, it's just nice to have, if you guys are planning on doing something, make a phone call, and within 30 minutes I can get a hold of one of my environmental people to take a quick look to see if there's any major issues that you need to look a little further into. The worst you can have, and I've been on a project about 10 years ago where things got happened and then all of a sudden the feds came down and there was questions on things, and having to do it after the fact is a lot harder than just asking the question right away, like, all right, now we know what we got to do. So just kind of keep that in mind on it. So just want to share with that with you guys. Yeah, the package for you guys to keep by all means if you want to peruse through it. But I just want to offer that up there. As we do offer a lot of services for you guys too if something does come up. Okay, on to the fun part. As for the general engineering report, I guess kind of that first item for general engineering, you have for you, I think it should be that first letter A here is basically a scoping contract. We're basically doing general engineering. It's more for just kind of budgetary parts. I think I have it for $7,500 on that for next year. And kind of the point is to basically just help you guys out when random things come up, like for instance, the engineering ordinances that we talked about here today. That'd be a good thing where at the end of the day, it's hourly, but so it's never going to exceed that unless you guys want to. But we'd still be talking to you guys today to basically be like, here's what's a lot, $1,000 of that, $7,500 to look at X, Y, Z. So as I kind of mentioned, that'd be a good one to maybe put on the hopper here for next year's look at your new engineering details and or ordinances that Dave kind of put together. But it'd be nice to kind of go through that, talk in a little more detail with him, and that way get that stuff in front of you guys too. To because you guys hadn't approved, have you approved everything? So that would be something to get in front of you guys and just kind of put it out in layman's terms of this is what you're getting. Because obviously we don't want to over-engineer things, but also want to make sure that you guys get something consistent and know what you're getting when new development that happens or when you do reconstruction projects. So that way you're getting something consistent the whole way through there. And it makes the conversation a lot easier when you're talking to somebody of, hey, what do I need to do? Just go here, hand them this, instead of every time somebody comes in here, we have to go talk to the same thing over and over again. Like I kind of mentioned before, city engineer for Parker, we're going through that right now. The last time they updated all their stuff was back in 1995. So there's a lot more things that need to get incorporated on that. And again, they just want things to be streamlined and make it also easier for their staff here to know exactly what needs to get submitted, all those things on there. So that's just kind of what I wanted to put in front of you on that. Do you want me to go through all the things right now, or I know we got individual items on here if you want to say yay or nay to it, or wait till the end?
Anybody have any preference?
We can go thing by thing.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
Probably easier to go thing by thing.
Thing by thing? Okay.
Yeah.
for the contract, I did read it over and I appreciate everything that's been put into it. For the budget, yeah, we haven't met with all the departments and looked at everything yet. So my recommendation to the council would be to wait for now until we have more information. And then I would feel better making a different recommendation at a later point. But as of right now, my recommendation would be to wait on the contract.
I think Sam wanted to look into that
Yeah,
contract
if
a
I,
little bit
if
more as
I
well.
could, I read everything, that we had, I didn't see anything that jumped out at me as bad or anything. I don't know if I didn't see it in our packet, and I might not have got it, but, I would like to look over the schedule of labor rates and then particularly the general conditions.
Yep.
Because the letter contract incorporates the general conditions, which is what we would just want to make sure we're good with everything in the general conditions before we said yes.
So table it till the next meeting.
We will just table that till our next council meeting.
Sounds good. And by all means too, guys, if that, yeah, $7,500 is too much or something like that, it's just a number that, we kind of typically use for a lot of our communities around this size here too. So don't feel that you have to do full $7,500 or anything like that. And again, it's just a budgetary number, so that way if things come up, after talking with staff and you guys, we can get that stuff right away instead of having to do the formal, let's go all this. But at the end of the day, you guys are still approving everything that goes through here, so I just can't randomly just charge stuff to it. Let's see, then some other updates. As for the wastewater treatment plant, just project status, Banner's working with IPT to resolve some issues related to the blowers, and also Banner's contacted Sweeney asking them to correct some disinfection equipment communication with the SCADA system. All in all, it's looking at construction bid was about for 5.36, and we're just over a little slightly on that for final costs with everything, but no items to kind of discuss on that. Going over to the sanitary sewer collection improvement project. So this would be for that CIPP improvements project. Looking at project status of that guy, basically at the end of the day, we're looking at invoice from us for finishing up the design. And I believe this is also for approval to set this out to bid as well. Engineering invoice and approve bid advertisement as well for this one. So planning on put this up for publication on August 21st and 28th. And this is also the project too that we pulled part of it out on Park Avenue and combined sanitary sewer reconstruction with the 4th Street reconstruction. So Park Avenue is basically going to be a full street reconstruction now instead of doing the partial on it. So basically cost savings wise, it comes out to be a wash at the end of the day, and this way you guys get a full street instead of having it just piecemealed all together when you ran through it 2 times. So this will, at the end of the day, I think, be a better fit for you guys too, so just keep that in mind too, is that for this project, we pulled part of it out and we'll put onto my project for that 4th Street water main reconstruction project.
I'll make a motion to approve paying Banner invoice number 45785 in the amount of $14,617.60 for the work on the sanitary sewer improvement project for July 26, 2025.
Second?
Thank you both. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Second,
Marty.
As for the water tower improvements project, and I'll kind of lump in the 4th Street water main reconstruction projects. Water tower improvements, we basically just reviewing your past information. The structural is going to be looking at all that stuff here and just kind of move along. Anticipated time to kind of finalize everything here and get this out to bid is sometime here this fall, so September, and basically get everything bid out here in October for the water tower. And then as for the water main, we're still on schedule. I believe we actually just finished up on survey, other than we just need to get a couple water service stops and all that stuff, just to kind of help to know where water services go to each house and everything that we need to replace. But all the majority of everything is done, so we're now basically consolidating all the survey and all that stuff together, so that way we can start designing everything for the 4th Street water main reconstruction project. That is basically planning on finalizing everything out here in December and bidding this guy here sometime in late winter of late winter of this year, so early 2026 is what the plan is with construction for 2026. And then on that side, I believe you just have the invoice here for us for that for the water main project.
The
I'll make a
motion, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve paying banner invoice number 45786 in the amount of $20,080 for work on the water main improvement project for July 26, 2025.
I second that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And then two, to double back to the CIPP project, so you have the approved the advertisement as well. Now, finish this out too if you guys want.
I'll make a motion to approve the advertisement up for bids for the sanitary sewer collection system.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And as last update, there's that drainage study application for that hazard mitigation to basically do a drainage study for the town. I actually just talked to Office of Emergency Management today. Actually, they sent an email. There's just a couple things that CCOG needs to change up, but on the state side, everything looks good other than a couple changes. That'll get sent off to FEMA, but as you probably remember, FEMA has until basically July of next year to kind of approve everything, so it's gonna be a long wait on it, but at least on the state side, that is all looking good. And then one other update too, there is the TAP grant through the DOT for that path going along 6th Street through the park and all that area. State basically gives the approval for everything. I'm just working on getting you guys a scope for engineering fees, all that stuff, and kind of figure out some timelines and do the little back and forth. So hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, I'll get the scope and all that through the state, and then we'll be back in front of you guys for approval for everything. Other than that, I think that should be it.
Anybody have any questions for Paul?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate it. Oh, he has one.
Seemed like when our sewer project was going on, seemed like every time we turned around, there was more that needed to be done. And I don't know, Lonnie, are you happy with the way things turned out down there?
Yeah, for the most part.
For the most part?
We're still struggling with some stuff, but, I mean, that's not really Banner's fault. This is more of a simple project, so I'm not too worried about things happening.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
So,
Is there any specifics or anything that?
I don't know.
No, it just seemed like it kept dragging on. I guess I was expecting it to get done a little sooner than it did. but-
Yeah, and with this one here, it's a street reconstruction project, so with the amount of blocks you're doing, should go pretty quick for everything. But yeah, it's not as complicated, obviously, doing a treatment plant for everything, so.
All right, thank you. All right, item number 11, the Hustler Super Z mower, which is like the coolest name ever.
Okay,
Lonnie,
so-
Lonnie's gonna tell us all about this.
Wasn't really planning on bringing this here, I was gonna do it on next year's budget. But we got a trade-in price, which I did not bring anything with, and we were slightly surprised on how good the trade-in was. The reason we're trading in is a side discharge mower out there, which throws grass all over the stones. And this is rear discharge, like our golf course Hustler. So basically, we've seen the trade-in, well, this is only good for 30 days. Well, that doesn't get us into next year. Plus, our trade-in will have a lot more hours on it at that point. So, talked to Dave, and there is some funds in the perpetual care fund. So, and that's where we purchased the equipment that we have got this first Hustler from. So I thought, well, let's just bring it to you guys and see what you think. This is a heavier duty mower than the one we currently have. We have a Super Z at the golf course that's run, I think we're pretty close to 5,000 hours on it. So the plan with this one would be not to be back here in 5 years asking for another one.
Do you have a current balance of the perpetual care fund?
$38,337.52.
The mower that you're trading in, did we get that last year?
5 years ago.
5 years
This is its 5th season already. Yep.
Well, the golf course been pretty durable.
Yeah, we haven't hardly had any problems. Tires, that's about it. So I hope it keeps going, but getting that many hours on a gas engine, you don't know, so.
Yeah.
But it's running strong at this point. Right. It does a lot of work out.
I think it would probably be a smart decision on our behalf to proceed with this. I mean, it would still just leave just under $30,000 in that perpetual care fund.
And we're sitting good, our little Mahindra tractor hardly has any hours on it, and things run good, so shouldn't really need anything, just some small stuff here and there.
We haven't used anything out of the perpetual care fund the last 2 years for out the cemetery.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of a new Hustler Super Z mower for the cemetery from the perpetual care fund in the amount of $8,803.94.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. You get a new mower. Jimmy gets a new mower.
It's even better when we get it traded in, I feel, because then we don't have an extra mower.
Exactly.
How's the cleanup going to be going for the cemetery?
Well, we're gonna work this around here first, get all
Okay.
these properties. I'm trying to kind of come up with a game plan on how to get that stuff out of there.
I was gonna say, I did see one of the headstones was completely knocked off its base.
I think we're gonna try to lift them all in one piece with the loader and do as little damage as we can. But
Push them on the road to the west.
make another pile.
Yeah.
Add to the pile, but.
Another bonfire area.
Yeah.
All right, thanks Lonnie for that. Number 12, residential development update. Come on up.
I guess I'll start. My name is Todd Nelson, president of the Industrial Park Board. Jamie Schimpf is on the board, Lori is on the board. Paul's helped us with banners, with designing, and Dave's on the board. There's a couple others that aren't here. We just kind of want to keep putting this in front of you. I think Jamie was kind of talking to you a little bit about the finances last time and probably scared you crazy, but maybe not, hopefully not. But what we have right now is there's like 70 acres for industrial. That's on the west side of Highway 11. And then this development that we're talking about here is this is the residential that we're talking about now. And we just kind of want to be in front of you and be transparent as much as we can so that everybody knows what's going on. We're working our way through finances, and ultimately the city's going to be really responsible for some of this. So that's why it's very important that you know what's going on and understand where we're at. So the purpose of this is just to let you know or answer any questions you have. You've got the plat in front of you where we're planning on doing phase 1 is what we're planning on starting, and kind of going from there. Is there any questions on any of that? Everybody understand that? Have you seen it before?
I do have one question. Where you have potential townhouse lots, that's a cemetery, isn't it?
It's right next to the cemetery.
Oh, I was
It's
just
not
saying,
in the
'cause
cemetery.
way this looks, it looks like that is the cemetery.
There's arrows,
Yeah.
you just can't see it very well.
Oh, okay.
Yep, no,
All right.
Oh,
we're
I
not,
see it now too.
we're not putting townhouses in the cemetery.
You're gonna uproot everything.
I've seen Poltergeist too many times. We're not doing it.
So, no, it is right, we're trying to do some economical housing too, so.
Oh, that's fine. I didn't see the arrows saying it's going to be in the field over there.
Yep.
Fix it. So I can see
Any other
those too.
questions on any of that?
Do you know the timeline, I know you don't have a specific timeline, but a possible timeline for when phase 2 would be started? I only ask because I've heard more people want the lots that are actually facing the golf course.
I don't know that I have an answer for that, other than, we've got to start selling lots to make this pay for itself.
Right.
So,
I didn't know if it was like, if you sold 3/4 of the lots for
Right.
phase 1, basically.
so phase 2 is part of phase 1 and 2 is what we're going to
Oh,
start
they're
with.
together, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Phase 3 is.
Phase 3 would be
further-
started after those are
Yeah,
mostly
and
sold.
that gets further down with the golf course lots. Of course, the lots on the golf course are the ones that are gonna be the most expensive lots. and are gonna help us pay for a lot of this too. The construction costs and everything are on there in that spreadsheet for you, with you too. And just want to keep this in front of you because at some point we're going to come to you and ask for your blessing for about $1.3 million, somewhere in there, $1.5 million. I was easing you into it.
I liked his first question better.
Yeah. So,
Harley might be able to talk more about that portion
Yep.
of what the city would be asked for.
so Harley's here with helping us with the grants and stuff. Is there anything you want to talk
You want to just refresh the memory on the USDA?
Tell us where we're at?
Yeah, so, well, it kind of got put on hold, so we haven't submitted the application yet. There's not really a deadline per se for rural development, it's just if they have the funds available. Alcester is still 15% eligible for a grant, so part of that 1.4 million could potentially be 15% grant, up to 15% grant. So we were gonna apply for the rural development application, that portion of the funding first. And then South Dakota Housing has a, I want to say 1%, I think it's 1% interest loan. I think they still have about 55 million left. So they can apply on their own for that one if they want, or the city can be the applicant for that one as well. So that one is up to you guys and who wants to be the applicant for that. I think it's less muddy if the industrial park is the applicant on the HIP one, because for-profits, nonprofits, city can apply for that funding. So it's not that they aren't eligible to apply on their own. And then, but for rural development, on their end, it has to be the city who applies.
Hardly that housing that you talked about, the loan, that's revolving, right? So that's that, part of that 200 million bucks they appropriated a couple of years back.
Yes.
Okay, and I think, the program was, you gotta have, is that the one with the third?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so it's only 1/3 of the project cost for the loan.
Okay. But if this whole thing cost 3 million, city could apply, somebody could apply, and that $1 million gets us to the third in addition to, and separate from USDA and all that other,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and then since state, South Dakota Housing, that is not like a federal entity, it's a state entity, so you can match those funds with one another.
Okay, thanks.
So any other questions or concerns on this deal? We're trying to get it going. It's been, I think, Lori, you had what was it, 1962?
1963.
63 was kind of the last big thing when most of us weren't alive yet then, but we were being born. Where the manor is now, that was all kind of a big push at that time and moved the town along in that development on the east side where you live and other people live in there now. And so we're kind of out of places for people to live and buy lots. So that's why we're kind of pushing forward with this. And it's a big project and kind of a scary project because in order to make it happen, people have to buy lots and you never know if they're going to buy lots. So, any other questions or anything we need to do to make it better for the city? Other than keep pushing and applying for everything we can apply for?
I know I've heard a lot of people talking about when is that gonna be done?
Mhm.
So I think that there is the interest there. I just can't say when and, that kind of thing, so. But I do tell them that it is still a work in progress and.
And some of it goes to the housing study. I think we did a housing study. It wasn't necessarily favorable for us. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. But I think we're at the limit for
Coming down, the current housing study that we had was done in 2023, and for the South Dakota housing application, they look at housing studies that are less than 2 years old. So that application to South Dakota Housing would need to be done yet this year in order to use the current housing study. Otherwise, we would have to get a new one completed. We've gotten a proposal from Porchlight Services out of Sioux Falls. It's actually a little bit cheaper than the previous one that was done, at $9,000. We would need to get that on their schedule sooner rather than later, because they're several months out if we would need to do one.
South Dakota Housing does still do housing updates, and they pay for half of your match, and CCOG will pay for half of yours.
Let's talk about that tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. That's good news right there.
Yeah, sounds like good news.
Yeah, so, they do it through Augustana University now.
Okay.
They were doing it through a third party who your guys' original one was through, but they'll do it through Augustana.
So the reason we bring that up is because if we were going to just depend on the housing study we have, we kind of got to do that really soon here.
Right.
And we kind of want to do all of this as soon as we can, because the longer this takes, the people build houses in other towns, because every town around us is doing the same thing we're doing. So just trying to keep it moving forward.
I think as a industrial board, we're kind of at the point now where the ask is for the city to come up with, in the next month or two, approving the application for the USDA Rural Development funding. And then, I don't know how long that takes to get here back.
They have a board meeting, I believe, every month, so it should be less than a few months.
And then,
And
once we would hear, the city would hear back on that funding, we would know, as a board would know what remainder of the funding the board would need to secure, so then we could go to USDA Rural Development for that third, and then the other funding sources we've identified to secure the remaining funding. But because the rural development is such a large piece of that, and it doesn't require completed engineering stuff done from Paul, which is a fairly large expense, and I mean, it's 100,000 plus cost for that. Don't want to expend that money on that stuff that isn't needed for the rural development. So if the city would, for some reason, not get approved for the rural development, then having expended that funds would be for naught.
If we get that South Dakota housing one, Harley, what's the timeline? You gotta break ground within a certain amount of time to get more than that, don't you? Is it a year, 18 months or something?
There, after the award, you have a 6-month conditional commitment
Okay.
to get, like the rezoning if it needed to be replatted and all those things, and then awarded bid. And then once you get the infrastructure in, then I think it was I think it is a 20-year loan, 25-year loan.
So I think if we could secure all the funding, once we had the rural development option from the city, I don't know how long South Dakota Housing takes, but I mean, timeline-wise, I think we'd be set to be able to break ground sometime in the spring once we had that piece, or within that year time frame.
So just to be straightforward, I think we all want this to go forward. What do you need us to do next? To have on the agenda to make motion go forward? What are you asking for?
Approve the
We
application.
probably have to wait till all of the stuff falls into place, and then
Approving the
approving
submitting the
it is what it'll
application
be.
to rural development.
Yep.
Perfect. Can you put that on the agenda?
Yeah,
for next
I'd say as soon as we can get that on the agenda, the
Yep.
better.
Yep.
Get that process started for sure.
Any other questions?
I don't have it.
Okay.
I've got about 3 variables that I think that I'll keep hitting you with, if I can say it that way, that were in what we talked about in June. That come into play in regards to, us doing the financing. One would be, will these properties have your discretionary formula on it out there? The 80, 20, 40, 60, 80 makes a difference in regards to income coming in. TIF money Can we get a TIF on this? We talked a little bit about that previously. Where does that tax revenue, can that go to the developer? Mean, I don't want to say us, but it's nonprofit. Or does the city want that? And probably the next thing would be the split up of the proceeds of lot sales. Okay, so we're kind of in a real broad concept, asking the city to take on $1.5 million debt. That's $73,000, depending on the interest rate, that they could probably get $60,000 to $70,000 a year. Are you willing to, as infrastructure, just cash flow that, the city? Or do you expect some of the lot sales to come back to the city? And that makes a difference on our end then too. So that's just three concepts that I've just, no answer today, but just what's fair, how can we do it so that maybe we can all do it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, I'll just keep hitting you with those same things, sorry for your comments.
Well, you're fine.
It's appreciated.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we do appreciate that, for sure.
Yes. Yep. So we're gonna have a meeting on the 13th of August, and it'd probably be good if a couple of you from the city council, can we do that?
Yeah, as long as there's not a quorum, or if there is,
As long as there's not a quorum.
or if there is, I post it 24 hours in advance.
Right. So if some of you, or all of you, as long as we post it, I guess, want to be at that meeting too, we can kind of talk about it then too, some more.
I'll get schedules after the meeting tonight. Work for you guys?
I think it'd also be good whenever we do our fall forum, if they could be there to represent.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we'll probably be doing some public meetings too, to get some public buy-in on this, or we've been kind of behind the scenes on it all the time to try and make it happen, but it's kind of time to get everybody in the whole town involved in this thing and make it happen. So that's kind of what we're doing. So unless you have any questions, that's where we are.
How much acreage have you got for like the townhouses that you were talking about?
I don't know how many acres that is. I'm not sure the acre, how many acres that is.
I want to say those lots are 120, 130 deep, and for townhouses, probably 50-ish feet wide, somewhere in that ballpark.
I mean, how far down does it go? Does it go past like phase one?
So right now, it's just kind of that corner, and that was something that I think we have to talk to the board here of, kind of see what sells, what doesn't sell, and then change lot lines accordingly, basically.
It's all kind of up in the air for now.
Yep. So kind of this first one is kind of shotgunning everything, where you have townhouses, multifamily, kind of working class family housing, and then get into those golf course lots, and kind of get a little bit of everything, kind of see what happens, and then basically the roads are kind of set, and then if we need to move lot lines around to make it work for townhouses, because those are selling really well, then all right, we'll adjust those. So that's kind of a concept.
We've also discussed bringing in an outside developer, put up a multi-level apartment complex. You know, so those discussions are kind of still being fine-tuned of exactly what the housing layout's going to be.
I think that's a huge need if that's a possibility.
I will say the pink road that's here, it goes through between the football field and the baseball field, that is not in the plans yet. We need to have the school board approve that, and they didn't approve it the last time we talked to them, so that's kind of up in the area too. So
Which could decrease the cost significantly.
it would decrease the cost significantly and make it a better plan.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind when you're talking to your school board members. Any other questions?
State your cases accordingly, please.
All right.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Lori. All right. Park revitalization update.
In your packet is a proposal for professional services from Norman Engineering. The park committee met weekend before last, sorry.
27th.
Yeah, that's the date. We're at the point now where we need to start the engineering process for phase one. The committee looked at this proposal and another proposal from ISG Engineering. Ultimately, they chose to stick with Norman Engineering. That's who did the master plan. They've been working well with them. They felt it was in our best interest to continue that relationship. This was what Sam was mentioning earlier on with needing just a few more details before we sign the contract. But do you feel them comfortable approving this pending getting those points from Norman that you can review?
Yeah,
For the park
absolutely.
revitalization.
Yes, and so, a couple ways you can do that. You could table it if you wanted. You could also, being over explaining so that we all kind of understand how it works, but, your city attorney is an appointed officer of the city, and so you can delegate certain authority to the city attorney, and so a lot of times what we'll do is we'll approve the contract subject to it being in a form and manner as approved by the city attorney so that I can then talk with them about change happy to glad and get it to where we're good. So that would be my recommendation.
So if you look through there on the page 3 at the very bottom, the proposal for their professional services for the engineering phase for phase 1 would be $16,650, which there is currently in the park fund $33,937.88. And then right after that is just a rough cost estimate from Norman for all of phase 1. This is for mobilization, site grading, concrete sidewalk, playground, water, sewer, electrical, utility improvements, the shelter, including restrooms, and site restoration. Total estimated construction cost $821,000, which the second page after that, if you look at, that's my estimation, and theirs is a lot better than mine. Because my estimate was like 1.4.
Any questions from anybody?
So did they make the final decision on what it's gonna look like?
Phase,
I mean, phase 1.
yeah, phase 1
I'm just saying,
is,
cause like, I don't ever remember talking about kitchenette being in the,
the designs of it hasn't been completed yet at all yet.
So that's the last phase, I believe, is the.
no, it has to be
It's
in.
phase 1.
Yeah.
Phase 1, yeah.
The last part of phase 1.
Yeah, the last part,
Yeah.
that's the last
Yeah.
part of phase 1.
So right now, we're waiting on Land Water Conservation Fund grant and Recreational Trails Program grants. We should hear back on those sometime by the end of this month, I think.
September.
Okay, so sometime in September. The Land Water Conservation Fund grant would be the grant for the playground equipment. That's a 50% local match totaling up to between the grant and the local match of $134,000 for the playground equipment. And then the recreational trails would be for that additional sidewalk and concrete work.
But none of this is gonna be done until we have the funds available.
Correct.
So this is just their engineering fee.
Correct.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the Norman Engineering Phase 1 engineering proposal, dependent, how did you want me to go with that, Sam? Your approval of the
Subject to
contract?
and once it's in a form and manner as approved by the city attorney.
I second that.
Hold on.
Oh. Oh.
Sorry, I should have wrote it down first. Sorry, I make a motion to approve the Norman Engineering Phase 1 engineering proposal subject to being in a form and manner approved by the city attorney.
I second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, Dave, what you got for warrants?
July warrants are in your packet. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thanks, Harley.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the July warrants.
Second.
Who's second?
Brian? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Financial report?
Yeah, the rest of the financial report is in your packet. Revenue's on track, is looking good. Still a little behind on the sewer, but that's catching up. Otherwise, everything's on track for the year, revenue-wise. Golf course is looking great. And then profit loss by summary, still running short. As you can see,
Why is the
We had-
library so much under?
the library.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something wrong in there.
I'll look at that. Sewer, we had a lot of expenses at early in the year for the wastewater treatment plant. So revenue throughout the year has been catching that up. And then same with, we had a lot of the planned expenses for second penny sales tax come out early on in the year. So as we've gotten sales tax income, that's catching up. And then again, the unexpected expenses of the clubhouse, but revenue is starting to catch up to that somewhat. I'll have to get back to you on the library. And then just where we're at, expenditure summary for the budget for the year, and then the line by line item budget to expense report. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Thanks, Dave.
That does not include any of the additional costs for cleanup, which was not as bad as I expected so far.
All right, moving on, item number 15 on the agenda, the Clubhouse Grill. Need a motion to approve hiring Emma Zuraf as part-time server at $7.87 per hour and part-time dishwasher at $12.01 per hour effective immediately.
I'll make a motion to approve hiring Emma Zara as part-time server at $7.87 per hour and part-time dishwasher at $12.01 per hour effective immediately.
Need a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Item B, approve hiring Lily Kroger as part-time server at $7.87 per hour effective immediately. Motion, anybody?
Move, approve hiring Lily Kroger as part-time server at $7.87 an hour effective immediately.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, I did hand this out ahead of the meeting. We had an all-staff meeting with the Clubhouse Grill staff on last Monday. I was hoping that it's not gonna be a trend that storms happen after meetings on Mondays. Kelsey had brought this to the meeting, wanting to know if it was something that we could update. I wasn't aware that it existed. I don't know if Kendra or Nick was, or anyone else that was here prior to.
I think it was prior to all of us.
Is that- that's
Created
kinda what I
prior to
was
all of
thinking.
us. I don't think that, I think it was something that was done with Darla. I remember it being discussed, I was not part of it.
Right.
I do remember it being discussed by Darla, but that was the last thing I remember.
So just some small updates to it. The one that has Ella's name on it is the old version. The blank one is the new version. The one thing that I was thinking that we need to leave in it is the part, huh?
Of the last bullet point.
Yeah, the last bullet point for arriving 15 minutes before the shift begins. I think we do need to leave in the barring any school activities.
Was there a reason that was taken out? Or is there like an
no.
issue with it, or?
No, there's never been.
I just want
mean,
somebody to be disciplined if they get out of a game at.
Oh gosh, they would not be. That's why we're hiring so many people right now too, is because I just looked at all the sports our new hires are in, and they're in every single sport. So now, the two that were just approved tonight are in all the sports, so I won't even have to worry about them after school practices or whatever, because last year we had that issue with volleyball or basketball practice.
Basketball.
Going
They
to like
extended it.
6:30 or 7 instead of 5:30 as it had been, so that's never been an issue.
Because then basketball players weren't able to get until like 6:30, which was
If we
at the
were
very
lucky.
end, yeah. Anybody have any questions or anything else on this?
So this would be required of all new hires?
Everyone, even
Well,
current,
everybody
yes.
current and
Yeah.
going forward.
And the only reason I retyped it up is because I don't know where the original went. And with all these new hires, I wanted to print them off and get them.
Does this have anything about, could it have anything about our employee policy or discipline policy? I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel, but reference that our folks are subject to that. They acknowledge that they're subject to the city's personnel policy.
Yeah, and I guess in that first paragraph, I can just have it reworded where,
Just I look here to be
Employee.
employee.
All I'm getting at is that they've been made aware of, and then ideally, we would want to have them acknowledge that they've read it
right,
and will comply. But rules apply to all of us, yep, I understand that's the thing.
okay. Should I also add the phones in the basket, since I'm gonna,
I would say no, I think that can
Yeah.
just be
Just a,
a rule.
yeah.
Just because
I would
of that
just-
changes in the middle of the year, you don't have to change this and you already
Yeah.
signed it. And I think that's just,
okay,
because it's been an issue, you're implementing that currently. But if everybody does really good, that rule could change, you know, it's not set in stone.
right, okay.
So yeah, so I'd say just add that bullet point of, I will adhere to, or not the bullet point, but add that to the first paragraph.
Okay.
Adhere to all,
Just period, I will adhere to this policy manual.
yeah, to the employee manual.
Okay. And you want me to re-add barring any school activities?
Yeah,
Okay. I just removed it because it's never been an issue, because I'm the one that's been doing the scheduling, and I know who's in what sport, and I know they have leniency and.
That's all.
make a motion on that at all?
Nope. Will you please just resend it to us?
All right, number 16, approve homecoming fireworks contract with RKM Fireworks.
So RKM is taking over for Lou's Fireworks that has done the display in the past. The contract is the exact same. City Chamber of Commerce covers the costs for the fireworks, but they've always had the city that's signed the contract because we're the approving authority for the fireworks permits. I read through and compared this to last year's contract, Sam, that's why I didn't send it to you, because it's word for word other than the date and the RKM company that's changed from years past.
Motion to approve homecoming fireworks contract with RKM Fireworks.
Second.
Brian?
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We also in our packet have a request for a donation for the Alcester Fire and EMS Golf Tournament, benefiting Tanya Summervold. They're looking for sponsorships or monetary donations, gift basket services, gift cards, or merchandise. They are doing a raffle and silent auction as well. So I don't know if we want to put together something like that with Clubhouse Girls gift cards. I don't know. Or if we want to just do a monetary donation. They didn't give you any specific ask, did they? No?
No, they did not ask any specifics.
Did you look into what was your?
Yeah, so far year to date, we've expended $801.69 out of the 2,000 that we set aside for the special city events and donations.
I would say we could do the $200 whole sponsor. That leaves us $1,000 for the fall and winter requests. Which we normally get requests from the school.
Right.
I feel like there's something else.
There's
For the
just
Christmas
thinking
stuff, I feel like there's always something.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve a $200 whole sponsor for the fight, Alcester Fire and EMS Golf Tournament.
A second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And you can just get that check to whoever, Carmen, I'm guessing. All right, reminders. Last day the pool will be open is Wednesday, August 13th. City office is closed Monday, September 1st in observance of Labor Day. Next regular city council meeting will be on Monday, September 8th at 6 p.m. due to the Labor Day holiday. Fall citywide cleanup is scheduled for Friday, September 12th through Monday, September 29th. All school reunion is Friday, October 17th and then Saturday, October 18th. There will be a special farmers market at the city office Saturday, October 18th with a food truck porta pit from Dakota Fundraising.
Two quick things to add.
I have
real
one more
quick.
thing to add too.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know if you all saw this or not, but our former council member, council president, Darla Reppy, her mom passed away, so keep her in your thoughts.
Speaking of the last day of the pool, the diving board was installed today.
Yay.
It will be open and available for use on the 6th. So they'll have it for
A week.
a week. We had to wait for the anchors to come in. It's got to sit for 2 days once it's installed, but. And then a couple of changes with fall cleanup. Talking with Lonnie and Mitch. Spring cleanup was kind of a fiasco. We had multiple complaints of out-of-town vehicles dropping stuff off, people just throwing stuff everywhere, all sorts of non-authorized items being tossed in the dumpsters, and it was just a complete mess. So this fall, the dumpsters will be placed out at the rubble site, so they're going to be in a controlled area. If they want to dump outside of the regular rubble site hours, they will have to come to the city office and check out a key where we can verify their residency and give them a key, and they can come back and turn the key in. This was the best way we can control it. So hopefully this will not only reduce the costs, but also help reduce the amount of mess and time that Lonnie and his guys have to take care of cleaning that crap up and smushing it down and making sure that Lauren Fisher will haul the dumpsters away because there's full of stuff. So
What are the rubble site hours?
They're on the website. I don't know off the top of my head still.
It's like 8 to noon on Saturday, 5 to, well, when is this exactly?
It'll be September
Okay,
12th
so
through
5 to
29th.
7, Monday, Thursday, and Wednesday is 2 to
4, I
2 to
think.
4,
Yeah.
which I don't
Mitch
see
did
why.
say he was willing to extend his hours that he's sitting out there. We just haven't exactly decided what those hours will be, but whatever hours he's not out there, if it's during business hours or the city office is open, they can get a key. So,
But if somebody sneaks up in them dumpsters and we don't know it, that comes back to us, right?
right. So if Lauren takes the dumpsters down there and they dump them, he gets a fine and he turn around and he passes that fine on to us. So that's why we're making these changes, because he didn't get fined, but he got pretty squirrely because it was such a mess down there. He didn't want to pick the dumpsters up at one point because it was such a mess. And Lonnie and his team worked their butts off trying to keep that as clean up as possible. And this is my last idea other than just getting rid of it. That was discussed too, because it's just been getting worse and worse, especially with out of town people coming and dumping. We just had to have some way to control it.
I was gonna say too, like they were always full. Whenever I had a minute to go put anything in there, I was like, couldn't put anything that I wanted to clean up in there.
Yeah.
So I just broke it all up and put it in my dumpster in my car.
And I did look at bringing it earlier. I talked to Lauren this morning. With all the cities that have had storms, it's going to be a while before he's got dumpsters. I tried to get him, see if we can get him here earlier sometime this month, with people having other than tree damage stuff to get rid of. It's just, he doesn't have enough dumpsters to go around right now. That's all I got.
I have a quick question down there, excuse me, where the dumpsters were, we got that big pile of dirt down there. Is that our responsibility or the people that put up the house?
That is the HRC. I talked to, what's his name?
Scott Persing.
Yeah, Scott Persing. He was planning on coming to take that pile. He's just going to take it and get rid of it because he can use the dirt. And he was going to haul the couple things of junk that are out there for the HRC, just get rid of it. He's just been delayed because of the storm. So he is going to clean up that pile. He's just trying to catch up with storm damage. So
Yeah, he had damage at his house too.
yes, he did.
Well, I figured with everything going on, things got delayed because of the way this year's went, but,
So
you know.
yeah, that'll get cleaned up yet this year. So.
I just didn't know if it was our responsibility or something.
No, it was.
It's your responsibility, Gary.
theirs.
Yeah, you missed one meeting and we screwed you up.
Well, I could take that pile of dirt and put it on the places south of me and Tim's.
All right, anybody else have anything to add to reminders? All right, next up, executive session.
Make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-21.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Motion carried. We're in executive session as of 7:34 p.m.
You can step off,
Yeah.
Okay, we're out of executive session at 8:53 p.m. Need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Adjourned at 8:53 p.m.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.